Okay, so today's demonstration we're going to be explaining to you all hazard identification and risk assessment. Okay. So firstly, can some of you give me some examples of hazards, please? Give me a few examples of hazards, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Fanny says the hazards here are the rods. What's the hazard about here with the rods? Housekeeping, poor housekeeping. Okay? Give me some more hazards, ladies and gentlemen. Off-cuts, but off-cuts will still fall under housekeeping. Okay. Now I'm going to show you this table. Just pass it around when you're done. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you all that these are some examples of hazard classes or hazard categories. Okay, so we have mechanical, electrical, pressure, temperature, chemical, biological, radiation, sound, gravity, and motion. Okay, can somebody give me an example of a mechanical hazard? Anybody?
Being caught in rotating parts.
There we go. Being caught into rotating parts. Thank you. Very good one. So that's a good example of a mechanical hazard. Can somebody give me an electrical hazard? Okay. Electric shock will be the risk. Okay. That's a good one, but shock will be the risk. But can somebody give me an electrical hazard?
Exposed wires.
Thank you very much. Exposed wires. What about this? Cables in water, right? So we all know that electricity and water don't go well. If there's a pinhole in this thing, and I'm standing on this water, luckily for me I've got rubberized shoes on, but if it was connected to the power supply and I was barefooted, there was a chance that I could be electrocuted. Can somebody give me an example of a pressure hazard? Vessel slows in.
Hoses leaking.
Hoses leaking. Okay. What hoses? Think of hydrostatic under pressure. Think of pressurized gases that are in a cylinder. Okay? Those are examples of pressure hazards. Anything else that we can think of under pressure? We said water and we said air or steam, okay, that can come out of a pipe, for an example. So those would be examples of pressure hazards. What about temperature? Temperature. Heat. Thank you, Fanny. Heat from what? Give me an example of what would be an example of temperature, of heat. Welding, thank you, Sumus. Right. So when you weld it, what is it creating? It is creating heat. Am I correct? So you can get burnt. So getting burnt will be the, what will be burnt be? The hazard or the risk? Thank you, Sumuzi. Now you're catching on. So we said that the exposure to the electrical cable that's in the water, what is the risk? Not saying it. Shock, electrocuted. Thank you. What will be the risk of, what about, we're talking temperature, Fani mentioned the heat, Umuzi mentioned welding. Okay? What about cold? Severe cold is also another form of temperature. Because if something is very cold and you put your hand on it, you can also be, what can you get from it? You can get burnt. Exactly. You're understanding now. So burning would be the risk. Okay. Next we go on to chemical. Can anybody give me a chemical hazard? Something on this side to that. Chemical hazard. Thank you very much. We had an incident yesterday where an employee from Topfix got paint in his eye. He had to get rushed to the hospital because he had paint in his eye. So paint is an example of a chemical hazard. So what would the risk be? I just mentioned to you now. Alright, so the effect of the chemical in the eye irritates the eye or affects the eye and burns the eye. Okay? So that would be the risk. Then we look at biological. Can anybody give me an example of a biological hazard? Anybody?
Radiation.
Sorry?
Radiation.
We're getting there to radiation. Anybody? Eating on sides are not your biological. Listeriosis, we all remember the baloney joke that was going around, yeah? That's a perfect example of biological hazards. Listeriosis, rabies, malaria, all of those things that affect your body, your health in that regard becomes a biological hazard. Even blood, ladies and gentlemen, becomes a biological hazard. So, being sick or affected from the rabies, etc., that you can get from a rabid dog biting you, will obviously have an effect on you, on your body, that you will now get rabies. Okay. So now we look at radiation. I think you mentioned it there, Helio. What? Give me a few examples of radiation. X-rays. Thank you. X-rays. Okay. X-rays is a form of radiation, which is gamma rays. Give me another example of radiation. Thank you. Welding arc. Everybody should know that a welding arc is a form of radiation. It is UV rays. It's the same thing that comes from the sun that affects us.